Cells. They are the building blocks of life, but some look much different than others. For example, a nerve cell looks much different than a cardiac cell. How did this happen? Stem cells. They are cells that can create any specialized cell, like muscle cells, blood cells, nerve cells, cardiac cells, liver cells, intestinal cells, and much more. Scientists discovered they are able to treat certain diseases using these stem cells. But the method and source of retrieving these stem cells is highly controversial. The most popular method of collecting stem cells is through a process called in vitro. In vitro is the process of fertilizing an egg with a sperm outside the body. Scientists will then take that embryo and extract the stem cells from it. The biggest pro of the in vitro method is that they are completely pure. However, their use is highly controversial.
People consider embryo to already be a human being. So when you go to pull the cells from the embryo for research, then you have in a sense destroyed the embryo and potentially destroyed a human being.
Another popular method of collecting stem cells is by creating induced pluripotent stem cells, or iPSCs. Scientists create iPSCs by taking a normal adult stem cell and inserting it with reprogramming factors to make it revert back to its embryonic state. This process has many benefits to it.
Now, the promise of that is you have an unlimited supply of stem cells. You're not destroying embryos in order to have access to stem cells. Plus, if you're doing research on a particular person, it's going to work much better using their own cells than it would be cells from somebody else.
However, the main problem with iPSCs is their hyperactive cloning behavior. It is extremely dangerous, especially for cancer patients. According to Daria Glock and other researchers from the BMC Cancer Center, because iPSCs grow so fast, they could potentially cause the cancer cells to grow just as fast. As you can see on this chart, every iPSC grew larger when it came into contact with each cancer cell. This proves using iPSCs for cancer treatment would cause the cancer to spread and even kill the patient. But this is not the only obstacle scientists are currently facing.
Is just plain ignorance. There are obviously a number of federal laws that govern what types and how you can do stem cell research just in this country. And unfortunately, the people that make the laws don't understand what stem cells are or the implications or where you can get them from. And if you just ask the common person on the street, they either don't know what they are or they don't know enough to really develop a good opinion to them. So I think.
However, funding is another large obstacle. Paula Grisanti, CEO of the National Stem Cell Foundation, explained that in 1995, President Clinton signed a bill into law prohibiting federal funding for stem cell research. However, it did still continue, but with private funding. Later on in 2001, President George W. Bush appealed that law and allowed federal funding for stem cell research. And in 2009, President Obama expanded that funding. But the government officials aren't the only ones affecting funding for stem cell research. Ignorance plays a big role as well.
If they're not well educated, then obviously that's going to prevent the laws and the funding from taking place.
However, the promise of stem cells is still fantastic. There are high hopes for their use in curing diseases.
You've heard about possible treatments for neurological disorders, degenerative neurological disorders like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's.
But we still have lots to learn about them. Once they are better understood and developed, the possibilities are endless.
Yet I think the promise is going to be great. It's just going to take a time to get there.